Good morning, class. Let us study a new lesson from chemistry, that is matter around us pure? In this lesson, we shall study about pure substance like elements and compounds. We shall study about mixtures and the types of mixtures like solution, suspension and colloids. So, let us start the lesson. How do we judge whether milk, ghee, butter and all the things that you bring from the market are pure? Can you say that all these things are pure? Have you ever noticed the word pure written on the packs of these consumables, whatever you bring from the market? For a common person, pure means having no adulteration. Something must not be added to it. But for a scientist, all these things are actually mixtures of different substances, and hence all the things are not pure. For example, milk. Milk actually consists of water, fat, proteins, and so on. So, the scientist says that something is pure, that means all the constituent particles of that substance are the same in their chemical nature. You have studied in your previous lesson, in the first lesson of chemistry, that any matter is made up of particles. And now if we say that a substance is pure, then that substance must contain single type of particles in it. Then only we can say that the substance is pure. We can see that most of the matter around us exist as mixtures of two or more pure compounds. For example, seawater, minerals, soil are all mixtures. Now, I said pure substance consists of single type of particles. Can you give some example? Okay, let us consider sodium chloride, NaCl, or the salt whatever we use at home. So sugar also consists of single type of particles. So we can say that sugar is pure substance, sodium chloride is pure substance. Now what is substance? A substance is a pure single form of matter. It cannot be separated into other kinds of matter by any physical process. The substance must be composed of atoms and molecules. The substance must have a particular amount of weight, mass and volume. So as I explained earlier, substance can be classified into elements and compounds, and about elements and compounds we shall study later on in this chapter. Coming to mixtures, as I explained just now, most of the things around us or the matter around us exist as mixtures of two or more pure components. For example, it may be seawater, minerals and soil. There are three types of mixtures: solution, suspension and colloids. Solution. What is a solution? It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So, the substances will have particles in it. All the particles will be mixed in such a way that it forms a homogeneous mixture. You cannot differentiate the particles of the components in the mixture. Example, every day you will come across lemonade or soda water. All these are the common examples of solution. Usually we think of a solution as a liquid that contains either a solid, liquid or a gas dissolved in it. But we can also have solid solutions and gaseous solutions. An example for solid solution is alloys. What are alloys? Alloys are mixtures of two or more metals. Either two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal can be mixed together to form alloys. An alloy is considered as a mixture because it shows the properties of its constituents and can have variable composition. For example, brass is a mixture of 30% zinc and 70% copper in it. Now we can say that alloys are also solid solutions. Example for gaseous solutions, we have air. So in a solution, we have already studied that it is a homogeneous mixture. Example is lemonade and soda water. Solution has either solid, liquid or gas dissolved in it. At the same time, we can have liquid solutions, gaseous solutions and solid solution also. A solution will have solute and solvent in it. In the previous class only, I have explained about solute and solvent. What is actually solute and solvent in a solution? A solution of sugar in water is a solid in liquid solution. For example, in sugar solution, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. If we take the solution of iodine in alcohol, which is known as tincture of alcohol, the iodine is solid. It acts as the solute and the alcohol is liquid and it is the solvent. So always we must understand that in a solution it will have solute and solvent mixed together. The minute quantity added will be solute and larger quantity will be the solvent in the solution. You must understand that a solution will have particles in it and the particles of the solution is very small. It is smaller than 1 nanometer in diameter. So they cannot be seen by naked eyes. Because of its smaller size, they do not scatter a beam of light passing through the solution. If at all you take the solution and if at all you hold the torch light from one side, it will not scatter a beam of light. That means you cannot see the light rays passing through the solution. The solute particles cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. That means the solution is stable. If at all you keep the solution for a longer time, that means the particles, whatever you have added, for example, in case of sugar solution, if you keep it as it is for few minutes, you cannot see the sugar being settled at the bottom. Okay, that means the solution is stable. Depending upon the amount of solute present in a solution, we can say that a solution is dilute or concentrated. In other words, we can say the solution is unsaturated or saturated solution. All that depends upon the solute added to the solution. At a particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving is said to be saturated solution or concentrated solution. In other words, we can say that when no more solute can be dissolved in a solution at a given temperature, it is a saturated or concentrated solution. If the amount of solute contained in a solution is less, then the solution becomes dilute or unsaturated. What is unsaturated solution? In the solution, the solute will be very less. So, we can say that it is a dilute or unsaturated solution. Again, how to calculate the concentration of solution? This is said to be concentration of solution, either dilute or concentrated solution. So, how to calculate the concentration of solution? It is the amount of solute present in a given amount of solution, or the amount of solute dissolved in a given mass or volume of solvent. So, concentration of solution is the amount of solute by amount of solution. We will get concentration of the solution. Suspension, it is a heterogeneous mixture where the solute particles do not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the bulk of the medium. Here the particles of suspension can be seen properly, or it is visible to our naked eyes. Example for suspension is chalk piece powder dissolved or mixed with water, or we can take wheat flour mixed with water. Whenever we mix chalk piece powder in water, we can see the particles of chalk piece in water. Or if we take wheat flour also, we can see the particles of wheat flour in water. That becomes a suspension. The particles of suspension scatters a beam of light passing through it and makes its path visible. The solute particles settle down when the suspension is left undisturbed. If the suspension is kept as it is for a longer time without disturbing it, the particles will settle down. So, a suspension is unstable. If at all it settles down, it can be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. When the particles settle down, the suspension breaks and it does not scatter the beam of light anymore. So, all these are about suspension. You must note that suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. The particles are visible properly and it can scatter a beam of light. Colloidal solution. The particles of a colloid are uniformly spread throughout the solution. That means the particles will have small size, so it is spread uniformly throughout the solution. Actually, the colloidal solution seems to be homogeneous, but actually it is heterogeneous mixture. Example for colloidal solution is milk. The particles can easily scatter a beam of light. This scattering of beam of light is called Tyndall effect. What is Tyndall effect? Scattering of a beam of light is called as Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect can also be observed when fine beam of light enters a room through a small hole. Actually, it happens due to the scattering of light by the particles of dust and smoke in air. What are the properties of colloids? A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. The size of the particles are very small. Colloids are big enough to scatter a beam of light passing through it and make the path of the light visible. and they do not settle down when left undisturbed. That means colloid is quite stable. The colloidal particles cannot be separated by the process of filtration. A special technique for the separation of colloidal particles is centrifugation. By this method, the colloidal particles can be separated from the mixture. The components of the colloidal solution are dispersed phase and dispersion medium. The solute-like component or the dispersed particles in a colloid forms the dispersed phase, and the component in which the dispersed phase is suspended is known as the dispersion medium. Colloids are classified according to the state, like solid, liquid or gas, of the dispersing medium and the dispersed phase. A few common examples are aerosol, foam, emulsion and so on. For example, for aerosol, we have the dispersed phase as liquid and dispersing medium as gas. So liquid and gas are mixed to form aerosol. For example, for aerosol are fog, clouds, mist and so on. One more example for foam. We have the dispersion medium as liquid and dispersed phase as gas for foam. So, shaving cream is an example for foam. We have the example for emulsion where the dispersed phase and dispersing medium both are liquids. So, we get emulsion. And example for emulsion is milk or face cream. Now, did you get the examples clearly?